What's going on, guys? Duke here. Thank you for buying a Madden 20 multiple defensive guide. Really appreciate the support as always. This is a quick intro video, and I want to go over what we're going to be covering in this guide, why we like multiple defensive book. So right now, defensively, I like a lot of formations. I just feel like multiple gives me a ton of options that other playbooks don't. For instance, two formations I like a lot: 5-2 and dollar. Kind of formations that aren't in, especially this combination in many books. I really like the 5-2. I really like dollar. Also, I want 3-4 odd because that's my favorite run defense, and obviously we can scream from that too. So, I definitely need a 3-4, and mostly like 5-2 Carolina. You're not getting 3-4. Then also big nickel over G. I like a lot. Nickel. I know big nickel over G is in pretty much is in every playbook, but it's basically the combination giving me dollar, 3-4 odd, and 5-2. Big nickel over G might actually be my favorite defense in the game right now, so I don't want to sell that one short. It's just that the other three, like the 3-4 odd, the 5-2, and the dollar, I don't believe we're finding that in other playbooks. I could be wrong. I've looked at all of them, and I did not remember seeing another one with those three formations, so that's kind of what we're going to be doing. Now, as far as the formations, we're going to be showing you run defense, screamers, lots of adjustments against the popular formations. We're going to be just breaking down the personnel, everything you need to know. Just know that as far as blitzing goes right now, I feel like zone coverage is so trash on this game that you're going to be seeing me blitzing from a ton of man defenses and adjusting out of that. Granted, I will run cover 2 blitzes too, but mostly what I'm doing right now, and I don't even like man defense either, I just like it better than zone right now because I feel like zones are so bad this year, it's crazy. At least man, I feel like with the way shading works, and I'll do a video on shading, you have a fighting chance. And we're not just playing straight man, we're just adjusting out of the man. I feel like that's the easiest way to blitz right now and give yourself some good coverage. Because if you just blitz from straight zone, the zones are doo-doo. Alright guys, in this video I kind of want to break down the most effective way to play any sort of man coverage this year, and that's to do with shading. So, guys, something that used to be in Madden when I first started playing way back in the day was you could shade over the top, and even if you were pressing, you want to get beat because they want to they want to try to jam you up so much. That got taken out of the game, and it's been like that for a while now. However, it is back. And I just want to give you a good example. So say I'm playing cover 1, and I call press, right? Just get the safety out of the way. So they could just streak their outside receivers or whoever the receivers are for anyways. And if one of the receivers just gets beat, beats the guy off the line, you can just lob it up, and it could be a touchdown. So if you take a look at the replay, you'll see what I mean. When you press, and he didn't even beat the press that well, to be honest with you. He had a half step, if anything. But just by pressing, like this out of man coverage, you're definitely vulnerable over the top. You see the press animations on the outside. However, when you play off man coverage, yeah, you're not going to get beat, but you're also then more vulnerable to routes, so just quick routes. So to get the best of both worlds, what you can actually do this year is shade. So you can press, and then you can actually just shade over the top, and they'll be, they're lined up close, but this time you will see we're not actually going to get press animation. So now I don't really have to worry. If you look here, see how they just bail at the snap? I don't really have to worry about getting beat deep over the top anymore because they're not pressing to get beat, So, sure, in a scenario where we have Tyreek Hill and maybe a glitchy speed burst type route with a bazooka of Mahomes and your corner's not fast enough, sure, that could be an issue. But other than that extreme scenario, you can see by not getting pressed, now, we're good. We're actually in front of the receivers. They're not going to beat us. So that's definitely something you want to know about. The other thing is shading inside and outside definitely works well this year. I feel like it gives you, I feel like shading is finally where it needs to be, to where it, if you shade a certain way, they're definitely going to it's definitely noticeable. Now, will you get something to go your way every time you shade? No, definitely not. But you will notice for sure a good difference in shading versus not shading. Like here, in bunch. You can clearly see it. Like, watch, I'm not going to shade this time at all. And you're going to see, like, he presses and then he gets whooped right over the middle. However, I'm going to do the exact same play. And first of all, what I'm going to do is, 1, I'm going to press. 2, I'm going to shade up so my guys don't actually try to press. And 3, I'm actually going to double shade. I'm going to shade over the top first and then inside. And now they still won't press, but also the DBs will play to take away the inside route. And you can actually see the lone DB lines up to the inside of the receiver. So you already know it's, now will he never get beat to the inside? Of course, he'll sometimes still get beat. But it's definitely going to be way better than it was on the last play. Like, look at this. Like, yeah, I know he got beat. I'm well aware. But it wasn't just so blatantly obvious that it was just an easy, like, throw and catch. Here, it was, the DB covered him better for a decent, he covered him up for, a decent amount of time, reasonably, so that the pass rush actually got here. Now, yeah, if the pass rush didn't get here and I was able to throw it at this point, he's open. But before, it was just laughing. It was just a joke how bad he got beat. Here, it did better. It definitely did better. And then also, like, you can notice it's the same thing if you do it outside. If you shade outside and, they run to the inside routes, like, yeah, you'll get beat. But, if they are running, like, outside type routes, like corners and C routes, like here, if I try to throw the C route, he'll cover it better. Like, look, he basically ran the route for him. Whereas before, that route would always be open. So you'll definitely notice a difference. But it is a risk and reward, I feel, because I'm sure if you look at the replay, Julio Jones was probably, he was open on the post, which, yes, he was. But it wasn't, like, super bad. He was just open. But I feel like I said, pressing definitely, especially not getting beat over the top, very, very important. And you can do that from any sort of man D. Cover 2 man, cover 1, cover 0 blitzes, anything. Whether you're playing coverage or blitzing. So it's very important to know. But as far as the inside and out shading, you can combine it with over the top. I do recommend always shading over the top first, though. And, yeah, although I will say, like I said, I definitely notice a difference between shading in and out, getting better results, but it doesn't work every single time. It's not like if you guess right, you're always going to win that matchup. So don't think it's 100% always going to win that matchup. And don't be like, oh, I shaded inside, he threw a post on me, what the hell? Like, it will happen. But, at least it's better than it has been, okay? So it's definitely viable. And in a game where I feel like the zones are so bad right now, it's definitely a nice little thing to have up your sleeve to play better man coverage. And this is actually going to be something I show a lot in this guide, because we will be blitzing a lot from man defenses and adjusting out of them. So this will be an important feature. And then also in dollar, I actually do play a good bit of man, like all-out coverage D, that is very hard to beat when you know the right adjustments, and that's going to play a part in that too. So I feel like we have a very different type of defensive guide here than normal lately, because in past years, it's been a ton of just all-out zone blitzing, where in this guide, we're actually playing some man all-out coverage and then adjusting out of man blitzes. So I feel like we've definitely tried to, do something a little different, and I've had great success playing defense like this. I've been locking people up way better playing these types of man Ds and man blitzes than when I was trying to play more zone. I just feel like zone right now is horrible, and people are starting to get better with their route combos. You cannot just basically just play zone and with no regards like some of the years recently. People are starting to get better route combos, starting to understand what works, and the pass rush is still there. But I feel like man is much more viable this year than it has been in years past. So let's get into the rest of the guide now. Alright guys, in this Madden 20 tip, I want to go over some ways to stop the run. I'm going to look at 2 different ways. Excuse me. We're going to be doing shooting the gap with the linebacker and then playing on the safety. So you kind of got 2 different ways to do it. When you play on the safety, your user's not as important, but we're going to show you how to shoot the gap with your user if you want to do so. So we're going to look at 3-4 odd. It's my favorite formation to stop the run. We also cover how to stop the run from this formation and the ultimate defense guide from Madden 20. And, you could really almost use any play you want, but my favorite play to use is the cover 4. You could do quarters or just the cover 4 drop. And I'm going to show you how to stop it with your user on the linebacker or the safety. So here, if you guys notice, we're going to be using the linebacker. So all you're going to look to do if you want to use the linebacker is just literally just get on the strong side inside linebacker, meaning that you see that they're going to have the tight end on the right. So that means they're probably running to the right. So we're going to get on him. And all I'm going to do is put myself on a blitz angle, which you don't even have to do, but I think it makes it easier. At the snap, I'm just going to run through the gap. And that time, I just didn't run through the gap. But you're going to have a free shot at the running back by doing that. All right, so let's do that again. And as you can see, right there, easy tackle. Now you can hit stick him. You don't even have to. It's just whatever you want to do. See, again, that time it was flipped, but the run D was solid overall. You can do whatever coverage adjustments you want. You can even blitz all the linebackers down if you think you want to do that. As you can see here, just flying through there. Easy, easy, easy tackle. Same thing again. Just flying through there. This time, I kind of got caught up, but again, that's just because I'm trying to do two things at once. It's not like I have someone playing offense for me. Here, flying through the gap, force them outside. We're right there. So as y'all can see, it's definitely a very user-friendly defense. Just want to run straight through that gap, make the tackle, hit stick, whatever. And you could do it from any D. Like I said, the cover 4 is my favorite, but you could do it from, say, Tampa 2 if you wanted. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. Just be sure to shoot the gap. And if you miss the gap, generally when you're in cover 4, I feel like it's a better defense overall. So that's kind of why I like cover 4, because you see there, that wasn't cover 4. There's cover 4, easy. Takes a few minutes to get down. It's super easy. I broke this down in the Ultimate Defensive Guide before the game even came out. So I've had this for a while. Other people, of course, finally starting to catch up, figure out how to shoot the gap. But y'all know me. That type of stuff is the first thing I lab. I don't start playing the game until I've run defense. Here's another stretch. So you can see good defense overall. It's not just your user, but you definitely can just come through the backfield like that very easily, although I did get picked up at the last second because, again, I'm trying to do two things at once, so it's not the easiest, but there we go. Y'all can check the replay out here in a second. Now, you could pinch the D-line and spread the linebackers out if you want a little bit more, kind of like just a good front, but when you pinch the D-line, you can't shoot in the backfield so easily, so I don't really like to do that, because I want to get in that backfield. But yeah, I like the cover 4 quarters play the best. Some of the other ones I feel like don't work quite as well overall. Show you the cover 4 quarters again. Now here, let's do something different slightly. Say that they were running a stretch with the... So say they're running a stretch with the tight ends, the strong side was the other side, you have to get on the other linebacker. So here you see the strong side's over here. So I'm just going to get on the linebacker on the left, because again, that's the strong side. It's going to come right in, easy tackle. Now again, you kind of got to know your personnel as far as who you're using as well, because some linebackers you probably don't want to go for the hit stick because they're just they don't got the tackling for that, hit power and all that. Some you just might want to go for the regular tackle like I did here. Some you might want to go for the hit stick. It just depends. But y'all can see, it's super easy to shoot the gap. You just got to run straight through, like straight down, and then tackle, conservative, hit stick, whatever you want to do. It's not hard at all. We can go for the hit stick fumbles, or we can just wrap up. So that's the defense, like I said, that I broke down in the guide before Madden was even out. So I had that before anybody else, the best run defense in the game. Now, if you're not comfortable too much with your user doing that, I feel like it's pretty easy that anyone could get it down between 5 or 10 minutes at the most. But if you're not as confident in your user, something you can do is just pick cover 4, pinch your D-line, spread your linebackers. And you can press if you want, or you could baseline press. But if you do that, I'd recommend moving your DBs your safeties back, because you don't want to get beat deep. Now, when you do this, you can blitz all the linebackers if you're sure they're probably running, but you don't have to. However, one thing I'll say is when you're using the safety, make sure you're using the weak side safety, because you can get more run support that way. Like here, clearly you can see the tight ends on the right. So again, they're probably running to the right unless they were to motion like a receiver over and playmaker run to the left. But with this, it's not so much about shooting the gap, although you can against certain runs. It's more so just it's a good overall front. You can see like right there we were able to not necessarily shoot the gap, but there's really just nowhere to go because we had all the gaps covered pretty well. So he had to cut right back to us, and we were there for the tackle. Just good run support. Now, if you, like I said, you don't necessarily have to blitz all the linebackers or even baseline and press. You can't just keep it like this if you wanted to. But again, more so just about the general defensive front that is effective. Like, it's not going to give up too much yards on inside or outside runs when you do this, because when you're on the safety, you can just provide a little bit more run support and already have those 7 guys in the box with the D-line and the linebackers. Another thing about it is, here we're just going to do like a dive. Just do dive. Another thing about it is like, the safeties, if they do happen to pass the ball, they get the better ball hawk type animations this year, DBs, because linebackers can't really do that anymore. So you can see here, I shot the gap. It looked like he was going to the left. I guess the computer or whatever saw me shoot through the gap, so it cut back to the right. So you see here, I kind of saw it inside run, kind of like squirm through this A gap. And the guy kind of like tried to avoid me, which he did. But, the rest of my defense is right there for the tackle. So between these two defenses, everyone should have some solid ways to stop the run. If you're confident with your user, I would do that, because that's going to just, like, once you get it down, and like I said, I know I missed the gap a few times in this video, we're sloppy with it, but that's because I'm, trying to do offense and defense at once. But you get confident with it, and the game is really easy to do, so you can get lots of hit stick fumbles or tackles for loss that way. And then also, if you don't have the best stick and you don't want to do that, just play on the safety, and it's going to lock down the run pretty well as well. So hope y'all enjoyed these run-Ds. Like I said, best in Madden 20. Alright guys, in this video I kind of quickly want to go over the formations I'm going to cover and when to run each formation. So the main formations I'm running out of this playbook are the 5-2, 3-4 odd, the dollar, and the big nickel over G / nickel normal. So I'll tell you right now, nickel normal and big nickel over G, these formations are good basically regardless of what your opponent is doing. You can run these. They are really good for shotgun or under center run pass schemes. Obviously passing the ball they're the best for, but they can stop shotgun run schemes and even under center run schemes that are kind of like dive, toss, stretch related. The only thing I would not say to run this on is the guys who are literally just coming out and spamming like 2 tight end, 2 running back formations and running the ball every play. That's the only time I would not say run these formations. 3-4 odd, this is probably the dedicated run defense. So if you see a formation like I just described, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, 3-4 odd is really good. We already have the show blitz scheme that we've posted on our site already. So you guys should already know that. That's a very common scheme. So, you can run that against really anything passing the ball wise, but I feel like that's, we already know that, so, that's kind of common sense by now. 5-2, when I see 5-2, I feel like 5-2 is really, really good for the max protect offenses. It's a super hard blitz to block, and, if someone just loves to max protect, this is going to mess them up pretty good. So when you see shotgun max protect, 5-2 is really good. When you see shotgun in general, 5-2 is really good. Passing in general, 5-2 is really good. Now, would I run 5-2 against someone who is running the ball a lot? Probably not. If someone's running the ball a lot, even from shotgun, I'd rather be in big nickel or nickel normal. But for the occasional, they're running inside zone or shotgun run here and there, it's fine. They're running the ball out from shotgun 90% of the time. Hell no, I want to be in another formation. Now, I wouldn't recommend this against an under center run scheme either, especially the outside runs, because it's too aggressive. You could give up, you could hit the outside run in the backfield one play, the next play they could score a touchdown, because that's just how it is with those types of Ds. So, basically recommended against more passing schemes, especially when they do max protect a lot. However, for the occasional mixed in run, it's fine. But I would say nickel, normal, and big nickel do the better job for guys who are more so a little bit more balanced in the way they mix up their runs and passes. I would say this is better for pass heavy, in my opinion. Dollar. So dollar, guys, this is almost more of our coverage defense right now. Yes, you can blitz a little bit from dollar, but it's not nearly as blitz heavy as the other formations. It has some lockdown coverage. This is good for passing offenses, but you also can stop the run. It's not bad at all against the run. You can definitely stop most runs from dollar this year. I feel like because the whole weak boxing is gone, you just have to be smart about it. Like if you see someone that can run on your dollar, you might have to take a chill pill. But it's definitely not like it was with the weak box to where it's so limiting against certain formations. Can dollar get ran on? Yes, it can. But it's definitely something that is reliable against pretty much all types of schemes. Obviously, if I'm running dollar, I do want to use it against more pass guys. If they're running the ball, I'm just not going to spam dollar. If they're mixing in the run, I will run dollar. And I feel like it's equally effective against shotgun or under center. Actually does a better job of stopping the outside runs. So if someone wants to do that, you're good. But if someone's just pounding you consistently from run-heavy formations, dollar is not the answer. This is more of a coverage defense for me right now than anything else. I'm going to show you some nice coverage tricks from this formation that are very effective in my mind. So those are pretty much the main formations on defense right now, and what I'm doing from each of them, the types of formations I recommend running each against. The nickel stuff is also extremely good at max protect. I mean, honestly, all the blitzes in the guide will beat max protect in general because that's something I've labbed against for years now and spent a big focus on dealing with. So I hope you guys enjoy these. Alright guys, want to look at the big nickel over G right now. Maybe my favorite defense in the game because you can run it against pretty much anything. It's really good against shotgun because it screams against the pass, it's unblockable, and it's really, really good shotgun run defense. But you can even run it against like under center guys who are running the ball like with stretches and tosses and whatnot and dives. I probably wouldn't run it on someone who's running like eye tight or something, but like a single back or an eye form normal, definitely use it on. Personnel, a lot of times, we're going to be using a safety, so I'd make sure your safeties are, good user players for you. We're going to be using the weak side safety, and we'll go over what I mean by that in the videos. But if you look at your depth chart, you want to look for guys that are fast with some height. So Reed is a good player. Gibson's not really. I would probably, for my other one on the Texans, it's hard to say because you also want a fast nickelback. So, like, for my nickelback, I'd probably use Roby because he's really, he's 92 speed. So I don't want to put him back there. But also, I would probably say for my other safety, I would probably just use Moore because he's pretty fast. And, the other thing you could do is you could put Moore in the slot and then use a different guy at safety that's a little bit better. So, there's lots of different things you can do. But the safeties are going to be used a lot, so you just really want speed and height. And like I said, Reed is good, but this other guy, he's not. So we're just going to put more in. Switch it out a little bit. That's the way we're going to do it right now. Now, linebackers, we don't really use them, but, you can put safeties there if you wish. I definitely like them to be fast if at all possible, though. If you don't got good enough guys, you can definitely leave the linebackers in. But we're mostly going to be using the safeties. Now, D-line is definitely important. You're going to be rushing them a lot, so you want your best pass rushers at end. So I got Clowney and Watt. Like I said, nickelback should be a fast corner because he's going to be blitzing pretty much every play. Audible-wise, what I do anyway is the following. So I do strong safety linebacker blitz, which is already there. Strong, where is it at here? Strong safety blitz 2, strong safety blitz 3, and then I like to cover 4 palms if I want to play a little match coverage defense. So that's kind of the personnel on the audibles. this split, the blitz is going to be unblockable. It's going to be really good run defense, and you can set it up with auto flip so that you have better run defense against shotgun runs, especially, and under center too, but also for the blitz purposes. Now, in the next video, I'm kind of just going to go over the blitz setup, and then in the following videos after that, I'll go over like how to run it against different types of formations. So in this video, guys, I want to go over kind of the base setup for the coverage, run D, and blitzes. I'll show it against like a few different formations just so you can see the different ways you'll need to set it up. Remember, we have auto flip on, and I will also in this video kind of get into some coverage adjustments here against different. Well, yeah, I guess in this video we'll go over the coverage adjustments too. Why not? Probably makes more sense to do it that way. So let's look at strong safety linebacker blitz first. We'll go up against gun bunch first. So the thing about gun bunch, guys, is that now, a formation like this, like where we're bunched up, remember, we do have auto flip on to always get the nickel back opposite the running back. But a formation like this, you only need to press, you don't need the baseline. Like a formation like bunch tight end, tight, split close, like compress sets, you only need to press with no baseline. However, if you're going up against a spread set, or maybe like trips tight end, like a trip set, you would need a baseline. So the first things first is I always use to control the safety on the weak side, basically away from all the receivers. So here the one receiver is on the left, three to the right, weak side's the left. So I'm going to control him. The first thing I do is I like to go ahead and blitz my linebackers. The next thing I do is press coverage, and then I pinch my linebackers. Now I will say though, you only pinch your linebackers if. Well, let me actually start over. Let me start over because I don't want to confuse you. Because it is different on a formation basis. So let's just start with bunch. All right. So we're gonna first blitz our linebackers down. We're gonna press, and then we're gonna pinch our D line. Now at this point, they line up correctly. This is how you want them to line up. But against certain formations, they don't always do that, and that's more so against like trips, and I don't know. It's just different formations are a little funky. You might also need to pinch them to get them like that. But here we didn't have to because they lined up fine. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to crash your D-line to the right and QB contain. Now if they're not really blitzing if they're not blocking anybody, you don't really need all these extra people blitzing. So say they're not blocking, you could just put this linebacker here in coverage, maybe man up the tight end. Say that you wanted to put this defensive end, man up on the running back, you could do that. You could put them in a flat. It's just really up to you. Now, the one thing for sure, when you're playing man coverage, you're going to want to shade over the top so you don't get beat over the top, right? When you shade over the top this year with man coverage, you really don't have to be worried about getting beat deep, even when you are pressing, which is nice. Now, I contain, and I do like to use my safety over his D tackle in the hook zone. And now I can shoot gaps on the run with him, which I'll show you in a second. But if they pass, I basically take a step up towards the center and then drop back in coverage. And if they are passing, I will if I think they are, I'll pass commit. But this is how the blitz looks, and you'll see like we're gonna get that guy screaming. Now, if they happen to block the running back and we have him manned up, the D end will actually blitz basically, and then that allows this linebacker right here. He's gonna come up the gap, and then this guy will still come off the edge on the right. So the running back can't block both, and then this guy, you can still drop back in coverage, which is nice. So say they were blocking the running back, all right, do the same exact setup, but just show blocked running back. So again, just globally blitz all your linebackers, press, pinch your D-line, and you might also need to pinch the linebackers if they don't line up the way you want them to, which they actually did not here. And that's more so, just the reason why that happened right there is the guy kind of just did some stupid things. He hovered over the gap before I actually made any adjustments, which messed it up. But let's just go ahead and look at it. So we're going to, again, blitz them globally, press, pinch your D-line, crash them right, contain. So we got it lined up the way we want. Now let's say that, we're going to man up the tight end, and then once again the running back, right? Usually this guy, this is how it's going to look, shade over the top so we don't get beat. Now here, the running back's actually blocking, so watch what happens with that D end, okay? So you can see, I did the same thing with my user. I took a step forward towards the center to act like I was rushing to confuse him and then drop back over the middle. And also just look at, because we shade over the top, we are not really in danger of getting beat deep. But what happens is when that DN rushed because the running back was blocking, someone, the running back blocked that dude. Really, yeah, the running back blocked the dude on the left, and then that guy still came free over there. Now, if they do max protect, that's when you actually just want to keep both of the linebackers in the DN blitzing. So we are going to max protect here. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and defensively, same setup, just blitz all of our linebackers, press, pinch the D-line, and crash them to the right, contain. Can you stay put where you're supposed to be? I guess not, but so what's going to happen here is basically we're going to do the same thing, but coverage-wise, maybe you want to do something like this. And we're still shading over the top, by the way. But we'll get into different coverage adjustments in a second. I just wanted to show you all that real quickly. But look, scream, sack, that's max protect, instant sack. So fast, like you're really not going to have time to do anything other than maybe like throw a quick flat because you see got two people free. Now this guy, we won't really want this guy like muggy the line so he gets up the gap quicker, but whatever, it didn't matter. But we really don't even have time to throw anything other than like flats and drags. That blitz is so fast, and you can't block it. Now, if they happen to be like, and like I'll just show a few different looks just so y'all can get a better idea. If they happen to be in, say, like trips tight end, right? A trip set. This will actually trigger the auto flip, by the way. Notice how this guy's already lined up over there. But against a formation like trips, we are going to need to baseline and press. And then we're going to... Well, first of all, let me start over. Anytime, you run this defense, you need to blitz the linebackers first so that when you do press or baseline and press or whatever, that they line up over the gaps like you kind of want them to. So, blitz your linebackers down, baseline press, pinch your D-line, and we basically always crash our D-line to the side of the nickel back. So here, since the nickel back's on the left, we'll crash them to the left. Contain, and you need this guy in the contain, so you got to move him over here. Now, here, guys, this is not really the ideal formation to use man coverage against. So, basically, if I was to see this formation and, saw that, I would probably just go ahead and, to be safe and just turn this into like a little cover 2 look. Kind of like this. If I'm being honest, I'd do something like this and then discard the middle of the field myself. But I probably would be safer to just come out in the cover 2 play or audible to the cover 2 play if I saw this, to be quite honest. But just to look at it quickly. So you can see max protect, and I got sacked before I could throw anything. So as long as you have some decent coverage out there, you're going to be okay. You're not going to give up anything too much. You see that, because they just don't really have time to do anything at all. And you could technically here we could just audible. And then bam. Now we're just cover 2 from the get-go. And if I was doing that, I also could put this corner over here in like a deep half so I didn't have to guard the seam as hard. Pass commit, all that. Take that step forward, scream. We are screaming. Now, one of the best things about this defense, in my opinion, is it really actually destroys inside zone. It's super easy to do, too. With literally the exact same setup. You don't have to do anything different. So, again, if I just sit over here, over this gap I'm supposed to sit with on my user, and they run inside zone, I can just fly up the middle and make the tackle if I have any stick skill at all, which I didn't there. But and the other thing is, it's a solid run front, so I'm not really giving anything up, obvious to where they can just be I see my guy lined up so stupid here, but whatever. I can just hit the gap myself. At the same time, I'm not really giving up any cutback lanes or it's not like the D's misaligned, even though they were that time because they didn't line up right. But they normally don't do that. And you can see that against other inside zones too. It's gonna do that regardless. See, he lined up good this time, so we're gonna be good. All right. So again, against formations where the nickel back is not already on the contain, when you contain, you just have to slide him in next to that DN to get him on the contain. But we just kind of sit over here, and if we recognize inside zone, we can just come up the gap, and if you have stick, you can make the tackle. If not, our whole defense is there. And at least you're going to disrupt it. So, I mean, we got 1 million people in the box, so inside zone really should not be popping off like that. I mean, because you can see, like, the nickelback's already over there, so this can be hard. And then you can't really cut back either because there's 2 guys just sitting right there, other than the outside corner even. And, like, you know, because we have auto flip on, they're not really going to be able to just trick us with all these other weird shotgun formations, which, you know, obviously you can pay attention to the formation they're coming out in, you know, just by looking. But, you know, let's say that they did something like this. Like just flip their play. So, see that? Blitz my linebackers down. Again, this is spread, so we're going to baseline press. We're going to pinch our D-line, pinch our linebackers. We're going to crash our line opposite the nickelback, which, where's the nickelback at? He's right here. So we're going to, crash to the same side as the nickelback. So we're going to contain. Now here, this is an interesting formation. It's not, you know, you don't have, you know, basically you only have a running back, right? You don't even have 2 guys you can max protect. So if you see something like this, you can honestly even just user this inside linebacker behind this guy and not bring the safety in the box, because there's no chance that they can even like max protect unless they motion block, which then you could go back to what you're doing. But anyways, you can just sit over the gap with this guy and just come right up the gap just like that against the run. And then if they happen to pass the ball, like they do here, 4 verts, whatever, you know, you can just do the fake rush with this guy. And again, make sure you always crash the D-line to the side of the nickelback. So that'd be to the left here. Now this is a weird formation. Normally he's going to be away from the running back. It's just a weird, one of those weird few ones where they don't do that just because it's not like that. But as y'all can see, I ran commit by accident. So that's my bad, my bad. Let me do that again. I mean, but at the same time, you definitely could do something like this if you want to get aggressive with it. You know, you could just go ahead and put this guy like in the middle third, and then just use this guy right here, just like this. Something like this, bam. Scream. Obviously, you know, you don't want to do that all the time, because if they recognize that, they might have hit you with 4 verticals right down the seam. But I mean, the blitz is so fast that they're not, you know, they're not gonna be like, we got all these guys free. They're not gonna be able to just make a read. Like they're gonna have to get the ball off. And lastly, I want to show it against a tight formation, and then I'll kind of get into like the different coverage adjustments I do. I will also have a separate video for under center stuff as well. Now, guys, keep in mind the blitz setups from the strong safety blitz 2, strong safety blitz 3, and then the strong safety blitz or strong safety linebacker blitz. Guys, it's the same setup. It's just different coverages, but the heat is the same setup. And I will get into my coverage D also in this video. So, like, let's just show it to you against tight. We're actually are going to max protect here. So what we're going to do is, again, blitz off our linebackers, press, pinch our D-line. Then we're going to crash them to the side of the nickelback. So that would be to the left here, contain, pass them if we think they're passing. And then, again, we use the weak side safety, which in this case would be this guy. But honestly, against a tight set, like, unless they're max, like, you know, protecting, like, because now you'd have to guard the tight end and the running back, or just, you know, both went out, we kind of be screwed. But we'll just show an example of each. You can see, like, screen, sack. But what you could do, if you really wanted to, is you could just, like, here, this would be a good time to run the strong safety blitz 2, in my opinion. These guys would want to line up properly. Sometimes in practice mode, the stuff just doesn't register, and I don't like it, but it is what it is. So let's do that again. Alright, so we're going to blitz all the linebackers. We're going to press, pinch our D-line, pinch our linebackers, and again, they didn't want to do it. We're going to crash our line to the left, and then I'm going to be responsible for the flats. I mean, these guys did not line up in the flat middle area on the right, by the way. These guys did not want to line up right, so I'm already telling you, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we'll just do it anyways. And I also ran commit. I'm sorry. Like, I can't be run committing now. here. So let's get it this time. So this time we actually have it set up correctly, and I don't think I ran commit. So you can see we got double pressure off that side. And they don't have to literally be in the exact right spot, but as long as they're mugging, like, there's going to be so many people coming free. And when I say I meant these linebackers that are in the gaps. They don't have to be in the exact right spot, but as long as they're reasonably in a good spot, you get so many people free that there's no way the running back's going to do it. Like, look, we got 3 people free here. Got this D end on the contain and then 2 dudes off the left. We got defensive end B gap right here. And I'm just kind of like playing the middle myself. I mean, it's such fast pressure, they're just never going to be able to pick it up. If they don't block anybody, again, just to show the cover 3 version real fast. Like, you know, I can easily, like, just tweak this coverage up like this. Do something like this. So, you know, that's the great thing about it, is you can just mix it up depending upon what's going on at a given time to take whatever you need to away. And it's definitely going to screen. But I do want to show the match coverage and then kind of get into the different ways I run it against other formations, like coverage adjustments. And I think I'm probably going to do that in the next video. I think it'll just be easier that way. But the main coverage D I run is, like, I like to cover for match for palms, especially against trips and bunch sets. So I'm going to go ahead and make it look the same. Like, I'll just do my little adjustments, like as far as just pressing, pinching, you know, getting these. Now, these guys, sometimes they won't want to get in the gaps because we didn't blitz them, but that's okay. We don't really necessarily need that every single time. But all I'm going to do here is just act like I'm doing the same thing, basically, and then I'm just going to use the backside safety. So you get them max protecting enough, and, you know, then you just rely on your 4-man pass rush. And this defense is really nice when you have good pass rushers, because when you do mix in the just rushing, you know, the D-line, you're going to screen. Like, and again, you could very easily, if you wanted to, you just move this guy up and act like that's you. But really, you could just be on this guy so they never even know. You know? Like, you could just easily do that if you want. So you could kind of trick them, move the guy up, and then be on the middle linebacker in the little 3-rec. You know, you could definitely do that if that's what you want to do. Be my guest. But when you have a good D-line like the Texans do, even when they max protect, you know, you will get some pressure rushing 4. It's obviously not going to be an instant sack like you were seeing when we were rushing 6. But it will definitely be enough to where they're aware of it. And I honestly, guys, I'm not a huge fan of the way zones and coverage in this game work, period. So, do I do this a lot? Honestly, no. I blitz a ton because I just am not a fan of the way the coverages hold up, especially against people who are good on offense. I just don't like that. So, generally, yes, I am going to blitz a lot. And I honestly, my favorite way to blitz is from the man play, because I just feel like zone is absolute trash in this game. Man, at least with the way they did the shading, I feel like, you know, I can make adjustments out of that easier than zone this year, because I feel like zone, like, doesn't go, like, the zones I feel like are absolutely horrendous. And man coverage, it's not, like, amazing, but at least I feel like I have a chance to do something out of man. Whereas zone, it's like I feel like if I don't get a sack, my dudes are so stupid in zone, there's, like, no way in the world they're going to defend anything. So that's my personal opinion, and we'll kind of get into that in the next video when I go over the specific adjustments that I use against different types of formations. So let's get into that next. Alright, guys, I want to do a quick intro for the 5-2, kind of break down the personnel, the audibles, and what we're going to be looking at here. So 5-2, I'm going to recommend your audibles be the following. Basically, first of all, I really only run 2 plays from 5-2, if I'm being honest. I feel like those are the plays I'm about to show you are the only plays worth running, and that's pinch and fire zone 2. So the other 2 audibles can literally be whatever you want, but those are the 2 plays I run. I do not like blitzing from cover 3 out of this formation at all. I feel like it just leaves you too vulnerable. Now, as far as my personnel goes, I'm going to show y'all right now. I'm just going to come out, break it down. So a lot of times in this defense, you'll be using a safety. So you definitely want to put safeties in the game. that are good users, like fast and tall, all that. We'll use the linebackers from time to time, so you want to have fast guys there too. But they'll be blitzing a lot, so just really speed, and more speed at the linebacker and safety spot. The two corners, I mean, just your best overall corners. They'll be doing different things. They'll be in man a lot. Sometimes they'll be in flats. So you definitely want your best corners there, so that when you do man up or have them in man, they do their job and they don't get you killed. I would also say that it's important to have like a really good D line. I say that's the most important thing here. The two DNs, those are the most important players because they're going to be coming free a ton. Yes, the other three guys that are usually lined up over the center and the two guards, yeah, you don't want them to suck, but they're not really huge as far as like what we're doing pass rushing wise. So any extra pass rush you get from them is gravy. Mostly you just want them to be able to stop the run. Now, as far as what this formation is good for, it's really good for anyone who likes to pass the ball. If they're going to run the ball, you're better off defending shotgun running formations. Like, you can defend shotgun runs fine from this, but I would not recommend calling this against someone who's coming out in a lot of under center formations and trying to run stretches and tosses and all that. I just feel like it can be too hit or miss. If someone's doing that, you're better off in some of the other schemes I show you in the guide that do a better job against that, such as the big nickel or even the dollar. Obviously 3-4 out too, but that goes without saying. So anyways, let's get into the setups now. Alright guys, in this video I want to show you how I like to run my 5-2 defense. This is, like I said, probably last year. Towards the end of last year, the hardest blitz, best blitz in the game. This year, I feel like it's right up there once again. Definitely a formation you'll want to run against, probably more so passing type formations. Like if they're in shotgun running the ball, it's fine. But I wouldn't really recommend this under center if someone's running like a lot of like runs from stretch and toss type formations. I would stick more to like some of the other formations, like the dollar, the big nickel, or even 3-4 if that's what you're going against. But I want to go over the blitzes now. This is a great blitz to use against the guys that want to max protect from like bunch type formations. It will destroy that. Or just regular passing formations in general, because you don't have to just blitz, if they're not really playing like that, it's not like you have to blitz everybody for this formation to be good. That's just like, obviously going to be effective for people who do like to go bunch and max protect. So something, the main way I like to run this, now let's start with the max protect, is I'm going to base a line, and again, these setups will work from fire zone 2 or pinch, but I'm going to base a line, I'm going to basically blitz all my linebackers and pinch them, spread my D-line and crash them out and contain. Now, I put my user, I like to put them in like a little hook zone. I just come down and sit over this guard that's on the same side of the field as the tight end, because by doing this, it's going to make the O-line pay attention to me, basically letting that deep, and they're going to kind of like crash in the O-line, and then that's going to let basically my DN on the right come free, and then the running back will block somebody on the left. So let's take a look at this setup. Now, this is how this will look. And I accidentally ran commit, I believe, but still you kind of did see how it would look as far as the pressure goes. Just ignoring the run commit. Now, once I show you the basic setups, I will show you some, how I would like to set up coverage against different types of things. But yeah, you can see two guys came. Actually, I guess I did not run commit. It just looked like it. But yeah, I didn't run commit. It just looked weird. But you can see how the pressure works. And then I'm kind of like just like this is a very fast blitz again. So I'm kind of just chilling. And they don't really have much time to throw deeper routes. I'm kind of just chilling. If they're throwing a lot of flats, you could do the fire zone too. The same setup, basically. Base and line, blitz all your linebackers, pinch them, spread your D-line, crash them out, contain. And then you're kind of just going to put yourself in a hook zone like this. Now, if you're going up against a formation like bunch, you are going to need, and you are definitely going to need, what is going on here? And passing it, obviously, if you think they're passing. But you're definitely going to need to change coverage up. So against bunch, if I'm in cover 2 or even man, mostly what I like to do, same thing I kind of broke down from the big nickel, is play zone, cover 2 on the bunch side, and then play man on the lone receiver side, and kind of just lurk whatever I see coming open over the middle myself. I feel like that's a very effective way to defend bunch. And again, I kind of just stand here, make them pay attention to me, which allows that DN to come free off the right side of the screen. So that's always nice, and then the running back blacks the guy on the left. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure what my adjustments were here, but we'll go with it. The setup is obviously the same, and I do like my user in this hook zone just standing right over the guard on the same side of the field as that tight end, because as y'all can see, he has to look at me. Now, say they flip bunch, or they just came out in a different formation where the tight end was on the other side of the field, that would mean that we would have to go over there, to get the same effect. So, say they did this, they just came out, and it was a flip formation, whatever, or the tight end was on the left. Okay, so we're going to get baseline, pinch our linebackers, put them down, spread your D-line, crash them out, contain, and, we're just going to basically take the safety, that's on the weak side of the formation. So here, that'd be the right, because if you guys notice, the receiver, all the bunch of receivers on the left, so we just man up the receiver on the left, or put them in a deep zone or something. And then, we just play over the middle. Now, if the running back went out of a flat route on the right side of the field, I'd have to go run up over there and stop that as soon as I could. But the same thing's going to happen here. We're just going to screen. Now, I didn't max protect it, but you still saw we screen. Now, just to show you a few different formations, like trips, whatever. Here we go. Again, we're going to want to stay on the same side of the field as the tight end, just like this, and we're going to have the same type of responsibilities. All right, knowing that they can't really throw anything that takes too long to develop, as you can see here. Now that time, I'm not sure. I probably just did something wrong, so let me do it again. You can't also do the man blitz either or. But same setup. All right, so here, if I see this, I'm probably gonna, if I'm in man, play cover 2 on the trip side, because I just don't want to give them a free touchdown. I think cover 2 works better against trips, honestly. I could even do something like this, but I just don't want to give them a free touchdown at all. Just leaving guys unguarded, so that's kind of why I do that. And that time, no one was blocked, so obviously they're going to get quick pressure. Now, the thing about this is you don't need to be blitzing this many people. That's only if they're in a bunch max protect. But say they were just running a regular old offense, and we're just maybe blocking the running back or something. No, let's just pick this formation. Why not? So they're just blocking the running back, right? So I can do my either setup for me to play baseline, spread the line, crash out, pinch my linebackers, blitz them, contain. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this guy right here and put him on basically the same side of the screen as the running back over the guard, but basically the linebacker opposite the running back, put him right on the guard on the same side as the running back. Same setup otherwise, and you're going to see the same thing kind of happens. Both of those DNs should come, and the running back can only block one. I'm not sure what had happened there, so we're going to set that up one more time. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I did it wrong. I know exactly what I did wrong. I just usually the wrong linebacker. So if the running back's on the right, we use the right inside linebacker and put him on the left. That's all it is. And I just use him in the same hook zone I did with the other guy. So look at the difference. So now you see both come free, and obviously the running back can only pick one to block. So excuse me, I had my setup backwards. That's what happens when you have 500 different formations in such a short span of time. But again, only, worried about the running back blocking, base the line, spread your D line, crash them out, pinch your linebackers, blitz them, contain, use your inside linebacker on the same side of the running back, but then move him over to guard opposite the running back. Running back's on the right, usually the guy on the right, but then we user him over the left guard. And again, you can pass him it if you wish, and we do contain. You guys can see, got 2 free again there. Now that time, I'm not sure why the other guy didn't come in, because he definitely came. I guess maybe the guard slid over at the last second, it looked like. I'm going to have to look at that replay. But we'll do it again for you guys. Same setup. Again, you can see it's very easy to set up. It's not taking me any time at all. And look, 2 people came free. The running back could have only blocked 1 in there. I did forget to block him, so I'll do it one last time. You can see, like, I'm already set up. This takes, like, no time at all, essentially. And, sack. You got to make... The thing is, with your user, you got to make that O-line kind of play you for a split second before you drop back. You can see I did that right there. I kind of stepped up. So they looked right at me. And then I dropped back in the coverage, and that allowed me to get 2 people free for the sack. So, again, I'm just base aligning. And you can do this from cover 2 if you want. Base align, spread line, crash line out, pinch your linebackers, blitz them, contain. Usually this guy. Again, we're using the linebacker. We're only blitzing 6. We're blitzing the linebacker on the same. We're using the linebacker on the same side as the running back, but then moving him over to opposite guard. We kind of just stand there for a split second after the ball snap, make them play us, and drop back in coverage. We get 2 free, get the sack. Now the thing is, you also can mix in coverage Ds from this defense too. Now, how often you mix in these kind of depends upon your personnel, because as I've said, zone coverage this year is and coverage in general this year is just kind of ass. So I'm really only going to do this if I have like really good personnel. So to do this, I'm going to make it look the same, spread my D-line out, crash my pencil linebackers, baseline, all that. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my coverage however I want, and I'm not going to contain when I only rush my D-line, by the way. But then I can put my D tackle over the center, hook zone, spy, whatever I want to do, man, or whatever. And then just use this linebacker the same way to act like I'm blitzing. So this is, and passing it, obviously, if you know they're passing. But this is really good to mix in, actually, when they max protect, because believe it or not, when they max protect, you still get pretty good pressure, but plus they don't have many guys out on routes. And then that will also kind of make them a little bit more hesitant to max protect if they see that you're mixing in only rushing, like, the D-line and not blitzing in 1 extra. They might get a little bit too scared to always max protect and kind of, start to maybe just block nobody or block the running back. So then you don't even have to blitz as many to get, the sacks. Now, I will say with this strategy right here, as you can see, Bosa and Ingram make it very good. So if you have pass rushers like that, this definitely is going to be effective. But you can see, like, what I like about this is it actually gets Bosa matched up with the tight end, and that's just a terrible matchup when they max protect. But if they're the type of guy, if you're using the type of team that doesn't have these types of really good pass rushers to win one-on-one matchups regularly, you're probably going to want to add just straight blitz more. Because as I said, coverage on this game is not very good. It can be broken down. I feel like coverage is only as good as the pass rush is on this year's game. If it wasn't for the pass rush, we'd definitely be in trouble on defense with the way coverage is right now. There's a few exceptions as far as certain plays that work good with certain adjustments, but just coverage in general is just so terrible. It really makes, getting pressure important. So, for instance, if I had the Falcons, I probably want to use this setup. Like, if we switch teams, Falcons run D, Chargers run O. Probably wouldn't use this setup that much because Falcons' D-line is just not that good. I mean, it's not terrible, but it doesn't have a Bosa or Ingram. But Chargers, Bosa, and Ingram, I definitely know, especially if Bosa has unstoppable force activated, I know we're going to get good amount of pressure. So just playing smart. Man version of it, it could look the same. Again, spread them out, baseline, pinch your linebackers, crash line out, do what you want coverage-wise. If they just keep max protecting, you could put the running back and the tight ends, defenders that are manned up, just put them in cloud flats and then just lurk the middle yourself. Pass commit. And it's gonna be a tough little D. As you can see right there, Bosa got him pretty much instantly, even though he got slowed down at the very end. but that was enough pressure to mess up the whole play. Sack, fumble is the result. So I definitely do like this defense. It's going to be easy for you to use. I mean, it's super easy and simple. The setups are very easy. They're very consistent. They're just very good pressure. But also, you do have the ability to play coverage too. I did break down the way you want to run your personnel in the intro, so you guys should know that. Again, last thing about this, I want to reiterate, really good against this formation is really good against guys who want to pass, especially guys that want to max protect. It will stop the shotgun runs good enough, which I will show you after I say this before we get out of the video. But I just do not recommend this against under center formations where they're running, because tosses and stretches can beat this defense because it's a pretty aggressive defense. But if someone's just like running shotgun inside zones, bases, whatever they might be running, this D will do fine. Like here, this is just cover 2, whatever. Here, we'll do the 6-man blitz setup. It's and then let's say that they just happen to run inside zone. It's definitely going to be good enough to where we can stop that. You can see that there they kind of got loose, but 10 yards, I mean, it can happen on any defense. We have so many people here that, and I just accidentally ran commit, so let's get out of this. We have so many people that we know we're going to get some sort of penetration. Now, another thing I will mention is, guys, if they're running the ball, like if you see them in an inside zone, how you also know with this defense that they're running, because this setup, notice how this linebacker's angle is a crossfire angle. It's not normally like that. It's normally straight down. So if you see that, they're running the ball. But you can see there's not much to go. So look, see how that's crossfire angle? Now look, I audible the pass. Look, it's not like that anymore. It's straight down, so it's pass. But look, they run the ball, crossfire. So if they're running or passing. This formation has a run-pass glitch. Just to go to a random one real quick. It's a little bit different though here because you gotta it's a little bit different here because you can see this guy is making the angle change. It's just certain formations do it and certain don't. So you got to be aware of that. You can't 100% rely on it, but it is there. It is there. It's just certain formations that works easier than others. Good power O, just to show y'all a different example real quick. In this formation. So here you can kind of see the angle and then look at the angle. It looks the same. So it's not always going to give you that, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's a formation by formation basis. So if you want to take advantage of that, just go into practice mode, look at certain formations, and then look at the blitz angle. Again, it won't always do that in every formation, so it's not something you can just rely upon without doing your proper research. So there's formations, if someone's going to run, go in practice mode, look at the angle changes or not for the runs or the passes, and go from there. But as you can see, it's not really anything to where the shotgun run game is going to get us. It's more so you got to worry about the under center run game, which is why I'd recommend the other formations in those situations. What's going on, guys? Duke here. Thank you for buying a Madden 20 multiple defensive guide. Really appreciate the support as always. This is a quick intro video, and I want to go over what we're going to be covering in this guide, why we like multiple defensive book. So right now, defensively, I like a lot of formations. I just feel like multiple gives me a ton of options that other playbooks don't. For instance, 2 formations I like a lot: 5-2 and dollar. Kind of formations that aren't in, especially this combination in many books. I really like the 5-2. I really like dollar. Also, I want 3-4 odd because that's my favorite run defense, and obviously we can scream from that too. So I definitely need a 3-4, and mostly 5-2 Carolina. You're not getting 3-4. Then also big nickel over G I like a lot. Nickel. I know big nickel over G is in pretty much is in every playbook, but it's basically the combination giving me dollar 3-4 odd and 5-2. Big nickel over G might actually be my favorite defense in the game right now, so I don't want to sell that one short. It's just that the other three, like the 3-4 odd, the 5-2, and the dollar, like I don't believe we're finding that in other playbooks. I could be wrong. I've looked at all of them, and I did not remember seeing another one with those three formations. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. Now, as far as the formations, we're going to be showing you run defense, screamers, lots of adjustments against the popular formations. We're going to be breaking down the personnel, everything you need to know. Just know that as far as blitzing goes right now, I feel like zone coverage is so trash on this game that you're going to be seeing me blitzing from a ton of man defenses and adjusting out of that. Granted, I will run cover 2 blitzes too, but mostly what I'm doing right now, and I don't even like man defense either, I just like it better than zone right now because I feel like zones are so bad this year, it's crazy. At least man, I feel like with the way shading works, and I'll do a video on shading, you have a fighting chance. And, we're not just playing straight man. We're just adjusting out of the man. I feel like that's the easiest way to blitz right now and give yourself some good coverage. Because if you just blitz from straight zone, the zones are doo-doo. Alright guys, so the main play I use in this formation more than anything is the cover 1 rob or press, or the cover 1 defense. So the reason why I like this D is it's really, really hard to beat if you know what you're doing. So what I do is I like to go ahead, crash my D out, line out. Alright. Or to the right, basically just right, left, whatever. Just any way so that I have my, I want Bosa like blitzing. I don't want that contained. But, basically I just use this guy. And I do have auto flip off when I run this defense, by the way. So let's turn that off. And when I run this defense, like I said, I'm using this guy. I'm going to press, and then I'm going to shade over the top so that, I'm not getting beat over the top by streaks. But then what this allows me to do is now I don't have to have any deep help, okay? Because I don't have to have any deep help anymore, what I can do is, like this guy right here, and let me just actually flip it because it should be flipped. This guy right here, can put him in basically a curl flat, whatever, hard flat, whatever. This guy right here, I can do the same thing, curl flat, whatever. And I can shade down and shade up, get hards or clouds, basically. So everyone's manned up. I'm not getting beat over the top because of the shade over the top. And then I have cloud flats on the outside. So then also, if I really want to, since I know I have clouds on each side, I shouldn't be getting beat too much to the sidelines. I can even shade to the inside. And then I can just play anything that I need to myself. Now, the only thing here is, if there's a glitchy man beater, like verticals, the wheel route from bunch, and I see that they might be running that, say I thought they was running that, they motion this dude out. What I would do is if I saw that dude motioned out, I would put the dude that's guarding him into the cover 4 deep zone, just playmaker him. Like as soon as I see that motion out, I think there's running verticals, or just a similar man beater, I'm playmaking that dude into the outside quarter, and then if for whatever reason I see that dude going back over the middle of the field, I'm just gonna manually guard him myself. But as is, you can see this is the default little set way to run this D. You can see how hard this is going to be to beat. First of all, I'm getting really fast pressure. If you took a look at that, that was extremely fast pressure right there. And this is honestly, this is a really good defense to use against gun bunch. Dollar can be used against any passing formation, but gun bunch it does a really good job against, because if you look, I have a cloud flat on each side. I'm not going to get beat over the top when I shade over the top. And then I'm shading inside because I know I have a cloud flat on each side. And then I'm still just lurking anything I need to. All the while, if you use a team with at least one good pass rusher or just a team with a good D-line, you're going to be getting good pressure. So you can see, look how quick this pressure was. And nothing is even remotely open. Okay? So just to show you that again, I'm pressing. Alright? I am pressing. I'm shading over the top and then to the inside. I can pass commit for better pass rush and coverage. And then I'm putting the blitzing linebacker into 3 rec into hook zones. Flat zones. And then either shading down if I want hard flats, or then back up if I want clouds. And then I'm just basically just roaming, because I shaded over top. I'm no threat being beat over the top. Really, I'm just roaming whatever I need to roam myself. Like if I happen to see like, smooth the ball back. See like, okay, I know that they're running a route that's just gonna whoop man like that down the sideline, or just anywhere really, like a wheel route basically. I'm just gonna, like, as soon as I see that, like, I'm just aware, like verticals. I'm just gonna be aware, and I'm gonna put that guy that's checking that guy into a different deep zone. Like, it's literally that simple. So I see that. Oh, wait, I messed that up. Like, hold up, what am I doing? Get that right back the way it needs to be. All right, there we go. So I see that this guy is getting motion on the wheel route. What do I do? Alright, so as soon as, now I can't do both at once, but as soon as I see that, I'm putting this guy in the outside quarter basically is what I'm doing. So then, he's no longer going to get whooped, alright? Because that outside quarter is right there. Like, he's not going to get whooped. It's good. Like, you can't do that anymore. So, no longer worried. But, let's say that they tricked me. So, you know, I thought that the wheel route was coming. So I set my D up for the wheel route by putting this guy in the outside quarter. And, you know, they tricked me, but he came back over the middle field. You know, I just know, okay, I gotta guard him. Like, that's just, you know, it's my responsibility now unless the flat zone picks him up. So, hey, that's really all you gotta look for. Now, this defense also, I mean, is it amazing against the run? No, it's not amazing against the run. But it acts like if someone's trying to run a stretch or something on this, like, it's obviously got good outside containment. But, you know, if I was really that worried about the run, I could just audible this, like, you know, I could just audible the spinner out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Just audible, or even I could just put cover 4 in my audibles if I was really, like, honestly, if I was going to run this defense, I would probably take out cover 1 robber press, because I'm pretty much just going to come out in that play anyway, so I don't really need it in my audibles. And then I can put the cover 4 drop contain in my audibles. So let's say that, you know, they came out in something that I was worried about the run. I was like, okay, wait, this is like, I think they're running. So to stop the run, what would I do? Well, I would just press, shade over the top, pinch my D-line, blitz my linebackers, and then I would just manually control the weak side safety. Kind of like, this is very similar to the 3-4 odd. It's just that in 3-4 odd, these are linebackers and not slot corners. That's really the only difference. Now, I don't even have to blitz the linebackers. That's just going to make it better run defense. So if I wasn't too certain, I might not even blitz them. And then I can just shoot the gap just like that with that safety. I know I missed the tackle because I suck. You know, my user abilities are washed up. I don't know. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But nah, like, honestly, I should have made that tackle. I just didn't. I just thought it sounded funny. But look, see, you just shoot in there. It's it's very easy to do. And like I say, they flipped it. All right, fine, big deal. Press, shade over the top, pinch. You know, shade over the top. You know, whatever you want to do. But if the linebackers don't, then we're going to be on this safety again. Just the same safety on the same side as the running back, so we can come down and run support. And even if we don't get in the backfield ourselves, it's not going to be that big of runs. Like, you know, it's not like we're going to get gashed. Let's show like an under center if we could real quick. Yeah. You can see, you know, not much going on. And those are inside runs, which that's the weakness of dollar, will be inside runs. If you're trying to run tosses and stretches, as I'll show you in a second here, you know, you're not really, like, I would even just, that's what I thought you were going to do, I'm not concerned at all. So I could be in anything versus that, but especially cover 4. That will definitely do the trick. Do I not have, like, it could even be a 2 tight end stretch, to be honest with you. Just dollar is pretty solid against stretches. So yeah, I can't believe it's taken me this long to find a stretch in this playbook. Kind of frustrating, but hey. I mean, now would I run against 3 tight ends? No, so I don't really want to do that. But like, if I could find anything else That would be awesome. Like, I know there's got to be just a regular little stretch play somewhere that's not a 3 tight end or 2 tight ends, 2 fullbacks. You know, something more realistic. All right, yeah. You know what? I guess not. Is there just not any stretches in this book? They're really not. I mean, to be honest with you, here we go. Finally, I was like, I know there's a stretch in this playbook somewhere. But yeah, let's just look at it. So it's literally the same defense I said I would run: shade over top, shade inside, whatever. Literally the same pass defense. This is just dollar against the stretch. Look, blew that thing up easily. I just pinched the D line because I saw they were in obvious running formation, so I didn't want to give up an easy run up the middle. And again, I'm just on my user blowing the run up, and you can even click off there if you want. But this D makes it super easy to shoot the gaps with your safety. Again, one of the big things about all these Ds in the guide is, for the most part, I'm using safeties a lot, and that's just like the way the game works this year is better to be able to have the ability to at any time blitz all your linebackers for blitzes and run defense. B, again, you get better animations this year with secondary players because the linebacker animations have been toned down. And I mean, then like here, just shooting the gaps with your user is super easy to do on the safety this year. So definitely is a positive all the way around. So I just did want to show that it's like, yeah, you can stop the run from dollar. It's not that hard. But I do want to get into just some more random passing formations so you can see really how effective and locked down this coverage really is. Let's look at like a trio type with some, man beaters out here. A couple in routes, a couple, crossing routes. Just something light. Something, I don't know, just whatever. Just a bunch of little routes over the middle field, crossers. So we're going to do the exact same defense. All right. Bam. All right, let's see. As you all can see, nothing is open. All I had to do was kind of lurk the 2 crossers over the middle. Wasn't too much separation anyways. But, I knew I didn't really have to worry about the shorter routes because I had a cloud on each sideline. So I kind of just stuck on that one till my guy recovered. And then once I saw Julio breaking deep, I just moved back to him. Maybe you could have thrown this guy got some yards, but at the end of the day, remember, you can always just do hard flats if you'd rather instead of cloud flats. That's up to you. But again, like, this is a really good defense to beat any type of play there is, because, I mean, basically the whole key is being able to shade over the top and not get beat deep. Because once that happens, now I can have a cloud flat on each side of the field. I can still press, so I'm just not so far off you that like a simple drag will kill me. And also, I mean, then because of that, I can just play the whole middle of the field myself and still have both sidelines guarded and his man. Like, and the way the pass rush this year, if you're using a team with one at least one of those really good pass rushers, you won't have all day to just sit around either. So then it's like there's no more weak box. So then if you have a solid user, you can just know how to audible and do simple adjustments, you can stop the run too. I mean, this is why this defense is so good. And it is definitely a coverage-based defense with the ability to blitz. So that's what I mean. Like, you keep doing this defense, and you really should keep doing this defense because it's that good. But what I'm saying is, you do this defense enough, they're going to just think like, oh, like he's doing it every play. So you can easily just mix in some blitzes, like spinner. Like, literally all I would do here is literally just man up the tight end, press, shade over top into the inside, and that is it. That's literally all I do. I'd still use the same guy and just look to watch the running back. I'd probably pass commit, and that's literally it. Like, I mean, you don't have to do anything else. You could spread out the D-line if you wanted to, but other than that, that's it. Like, because I know I'm just going to blitz 6. I'm going to get one of those DBs quick. They're not going to be expecting it, and I'm probably going to get a sack. Now, if you want to, could you just go ahead and slide that dude in too? Sure, you could. You definitely could. You could even just man up the running back and leave the tight end, or, it's just up to you. But bottom line is, this is not an every down thing. This is just something I'm doing here and there just to mix in. And if you do move the guys in, you do want to contain them because they will get a little bit faster pressure, I feel, when they're on the contains. But yeah, I mean, you can just quickly do this and then just drop down. I mean, hey, it's super. I mean, it's nothing complicated. You can do the same thing from DB fire to press. Just press. I mean, blitz the linebackers down, press, and I would probably just blitz 6 or 5 I mean, if I'm gonna blitz these guys, I'm gonna blitz 6 or 5. I'm probably not gonna blitz 7. There's really no point in blitzing 7 now. So I probably, what I would actually do here is I would put this guy in a mid read, because if I'm blitzing the other linebacker, the mid read is glitchy this year. Like, a lot of people don't know, the mid read is glitchy. So I might do something like this, and this is just gonna be a surprise, basically, as I got some of my guys ran commit or something. But yeah, no, it's definitely just gonna be a simple blitz. Like, I'm not looking to do anything crazy. Just press, blitz my linebackers, slide these guys in on the contains, and then put whichever middle linebacker you want, put them in the mid read. The mid read locks down a lot of the glitchy post routes this year, and any other coverage adjustments you want. So something like this would be what I do against bunch. Like I've said in the other videos, cover 2 on the bunch side, man up the lone receiver, and the guy goes into the flat. Just checking myself. Now, another thing you can do is you can just literally just leave them out in the slot if you want. Just literally just leave them out there. Just press, leave them out there. It really doesn't matter. Could just blitz the other way. I mean, it really is just up to you how you want to do it. To be completely honest, there's no right or wrong way. Because, again, this is not a blitzing formation to where we need to account for all these different ways they can block us. We could just not even move them in if we don't want to do that. And honestly, when you don't move them in sometimes, they come in a more direct route. It all depends upon the formation, though. But bottom line is, I'm probably not going to blitz both middle linebackers. I'm probably just going to blitz one and put the other in the mid read. That's normally what I would do if I'm being honest. And you can just do simple things like this, because again, they're not expecting the blitz. That's what makes this easy. Is they're just not expecting it, just like that. So like right there, all I literally did was I pressed. I freaking put one middle linebacker blitzing, and the other I put in mid read, and then I just made my coverage adjustments. And again, the reason why this works is they just don't expect it. Like if they're expecting this, it's probably not going to work, too well for you. But the fact that they're not expecting it is what it makes it good. So again, just press, put this guy in the middle read. Normally, I probably blitz opposite the running back though, just in case they did block him. So I probably would blitz the middle linebacker opposite the running back, just in the rare case they did block him. And then I would just make my coverage adjustments, all right? And you can slide them in and contain, or you can leave them there. But I would definitely pass commit, assuming you think they're passing. And then again, we're just kind of just in coverage, just lurking. And again, we pretty much know they're not going to expect it because we're mixing it in. We're playing a ton of man coverage. Max Sting 3 would be the cover 3 version. Now, just make sure if you're in Max Sting 3, you get this guy back because you don't want that. It kind of like gives it away. But for Max Sting 3, I would crash my line out and just leave it like that. You're basically gonna want to go ahead and shade down, I would say, to take away quick flats, and again play in the safety that is in the flat. Make sure that you're aware of cover 3 bombs. So if they have something like that, you might need to do a deep half, or you could just individually back up the guy that could get deep bombed, and it won't be as easy to do. But again, like most of the time when they're running this, they're not going to be expecting you to be blitzing them heavily. So again, as long as you just mix in the blitz with to where you're running the blitz just very rarely and running the coverage mostly every play, they're just not going to see it coming. And all it takes is just one to get that sack, back them up. They're in trouble. Honestly, when I'm in this defense, I'm playing the coverage like 75, 85, 80% of the time, if not sometimes more, just because it really is that good. And a lot of people have big problems beating it. The only time I've seen people just not seem to have too many issues is if they have like Tom Brady or they have the route specialists all over the place to where they can put their running backs on like that Texas glitchy route and do all those hot routed corners from post from every position. Then it's easier to beat. But a lot of people aren't using that, or if at the most they'll just have like one receiver for route specialist, but they won't just have it all over the place, especially like the running back is really what makes it a huge difference versus man. If you have that route cam on the running back against man, you have a lot more options. But if you don't, you're definitely going to struggle versus D. So this is kind of a throwback style of defense. It is very effective. It's very, very, very good because you don't give up big plays. It's bend but don't break. A lot of people have trouble against that. And it's honestly a nice defense to come out in early in the game to where, you're kind of just trying to get a feel for your opponent, see what they like to run, And then once you know, then you can get into like some of the other defenses, or even just get your adjustments down even better. But anyways, to wrap up this defense, kind of summarize it, you want to use the coverage to set up the blitzes. Don't blitz too often, because we're not like, this is not like the old unblockable DB fire crossfire dollar. This is like, yeah, the pressure's good, but we're setting it up based upon the fact that they're accounting for the coverage and probably not blocking anybody, or if they are, just the running back. This is not something to where we want to face advanced blocking schemes, because we're not really scheming that way. It's more about the coverage. Alright guys, in this video I wanted to look at nickel normal. I'm going to give a little intro to it, break down what we're really looking for with this formation as far as audibles and personnel. So this formation, I'd say the 2DN should be, very fast guys, good pass rushers. The D tackles, if they got some speed to them, that's cool. More so than anything, we want them to be able to stop the run. Nickelback definitely should be fast. We will be blitzing him a decent amount, so if he's fast, that's definitely nice. The linebackers, on the other hand, we will, be blitzing them a good bit too. So they could be safeties, they could be linebackers, depending upon your personnel, what works better for your team. That kind of just comes down to that. But I definitely look for speed at linebacker. As far as the outside corners, they should just be your best overall secondary players. Sometimes they'll be manned up, sometimes they'll be in zone. They will be in a lot of different assignments. So I definitely want them to be versatile. As far as audibles, I like to have Overstorm Brave. I also like to have, and just give me 1 second here, guys. I also like to have the and just give me 1 second to find all the plays I'm looking for, because this formation has a lot of plays. I like to have Undersmoke 2, Overstorm Brave, Cover 3 Cloud, and the Cover 4, where is it at? I might have just passed it a second ago. Yeah, here we go. Cover 4 quarters. These are the audibles I prefer to have, and I do play with this formation with auto flip on, because as far as the run game is concerned, if you can get the nickel back opposite the running back from shotgun, that helps with the blitzes when we want to blitz him, and it also will help with defending inside zones and whatnot. So that is another important part of running this defense. Now, pretty much the setups I'm going to show can be used from all sorts of different plays. Really any play out of the entire formation. It doesn't just necessarily need to be, those 4 audibles. Whatever coverages you guys prefer most, you can put in. That's my opinion, because I like to have a cover 2, a man, some sort of cover 3 combo, and a cover 4 match. So that's why I go with. Alright guys, in this video I want to break down some nickel normal setups against advanced protection. I really feel like this stuff is really, first of all, I'll say you can run it against any formation. I do feel like it's really, really good, maybe even best against gun bunch though. And the setup I'm about to show you is global, like it could work from any play in the formation. It's really 2 setups, one for a blocked running back and one for max protect. But even though it could work from any play, like Overstorm Brave is super easy and simple to set up. I like to do it a good bit out of that play. So it's man coverage, it's easy to set up and adjust from. What I'm going to do is simple press coverage, pinch my D-line, pinch my linebackers, shade over the top, so even though I press I don't get beat deep, crash my D-line down and contain. Now I'm going to manually control the safety guarding the running back and just go ahead and sit over the offensive tackle on the same side of the screen as the running back's on. And again, by shading over the top, I won't have to worry about getting beat over the top. Now, if you think they're passing, also pass commit. That's big this year. I'm pretty aggressive with my pass commits. I mean, it is a negative if you end up pass committing and they run the ball or whatever. But as you see, we screen there. But it's not that big of a deal. So as long as you're just not continuously pass committing over and over again and they're running the ball and gashing you, you'll be fine. But the thing you have to do here is you have to kind of like stand over this tackle and kind of like distract the lineman so that the D end will run right by the tackle, and then you'll have both defensive ends coming free. And by doing that, then the running back can only block one. Now that time it looked like my linebacker and my end came free instead of both the ends. Normally, see, it did it again there. Both of my linebackers came free. Normally, it's going to be your D ends, but I mean, if your linebacker ends up coming free instead, or your linebackers, I should say, or a combination of both, either way works. You just want to make sure that you're getting two guys free off this setup so that, if, and then like there again, the linebacker came free. If the running back blocks one, the other guy gets the sack. Now, you can do this setup from any play. Like, we could do it from cover 3 cloud. So, again, we're just pressing, pinching our D-line and linebackers, crashing our D-line down, blitzing the linebackers, and containing. And then we just get the safety on the safe side as the running back, and just come over this tackle to distract him. Any coverage adjustments you want after that are up to you. Like, obviously, here we can't just have that corner in a flat with our safety up in the box, so we could change them to deep zone. Maybe he gets bunched, we man him up. Little things like that. And again, two guys free, sack. It really should be both the ends though, but hey, doesn't really make too much of a difference. Now, if they start to max protect, what you're going to need to do is add a 7th rusher one more rusher to make 7 in the equation. Under smoke is a great play to do it from, but again, technically you could do it from any play because all you would really have to do is just additionally blitz down that DB, but under smoke it's already got it, so you're straight. So you could do like this: press, pinch, crash D-line down, contain, shade over the top so we don't get burnt, even though we're pressing, and we're good. Alright, so here, even though they max protect, we should be able to get pressure right away, and we do for the sack. And we just stand in front of that tackle, make him look at us, and then drop back in coverage, and we get so many people free they can't block it. Now, coverage-wise, obviously here, it being gun bunch, we could do some stuff to it. Like we could play, I've said this a lot in different videos, but we could play for different defenses. Cover 2 on the bunch side and man on the non-bunch side. And even with max protect, I mean, they're going to get sacked so fast, as you guys can see here. Well, I forgot to max protect there. That's my bad. But they're end up getting sacked. I said so fast. No, sacked so fast that, they really don't have time to make a read. And this is an extremely fast setup. As you can see here, I'm already set up. Now I just need to stand over this guy. I've done everything. Like, I'm literally just ready, and they're gonna get hummed at, and they can't, they're gonna have no time to do anything. So it's a really easy setup, and if you can just even do that from Overstorm Brave, like you just would have to playmaker the slot corner to blitz, and I mean that'd really be it. But you could do that from any play too. It doesn't necessarily have to be man. It could be under smoke too. I mean, it's just gonna turn into cover 2 anyways when you think about it, right? Because you're gonna man up Julio because you can't just come in the box with your safety, right? We're going to shade up so we don't get cooked. Come in the box. Blitz 7. Pass them if you think they're passing. And yeah. Screaming. Max protect has no shot. And again, this stuff could be done from any play. It works against all the offensive formations, so you could do this from, say, you could even just do this from cover 4 quarters if you really wanted to. It works in single back, shotgun, whatever the case may be, it works well. So here, let's just do bench. We'll just blitz. This time, we're not going to blitz all those extra dudes. We'll just blitz the. Now, against under center. Normally, I'm just going to bring my guy up right over the guy opposite the nickelback. I don't really want to do that, on the same side as the nickelback because that's like bad. Obviously that's like bad, what I guess you would call alignment. But as you can see here, get both of those guys coming, sack. You know, it's a pretty easy blitz to run. In my opinion, I don't think it's hard at all. I find that any play works pretty well, and at the same time, the coverage adjustments are pretty simple too. And another thing I like about it a lot is I can turn this into basically like similar to what I do at $1, a coverage D real fast, especially when I see they like to max protect a lot. So something I might do is just pinch D-line, pitch and linebackers from Overstore Brave, press, shade over the top so I don't have to worry about getting cooked deep, and then put both of these guys in flats and then, like, you know, shade down, shade up to make them clouds. And now, like, I'm just free roaming, right? If they have a mobile quarterback, maybe I spy somebody, but, you know, I'm just free roaming at this point. No contain if you're just going to rush your D-line, because basically if you just rush your D-line, you don't want anyone on a contain, right? Because then they won't get as much of a good pass rush when it's just like the D-line. But now I just basically have to guard the middle of the field myself. You know, maybe if they have a beater, you know, you might have to put a safety out there to stop like a deep post or something like that. But you can always manually guard that yourself too. And honestly, at the end of the day, if you have a good D-line, they probably shouldn't, especially if you have like a superstar pass rusher, they probably shouldn't have that much time to even let that even develop. But again, you can kind of see when you play this style of defense is very similar from what I was showing at $1. I mean, you have essentially both sidelines covered, so you can just lurk the middle yourself. Now, if you only wanted to rush 3, what you could do is something like this. So you might just say, hey, I'm just going to rush 3. Throw a spy out there. You know, what have you. I guess you would want a faster D tackle, though, if you're going to spy someone, or even do a hook zone. You know, I would not recommend having a slow guy out there if that's what you're trying to do, that's for sure. But, you know, still, as you can see, bam, sack of munchies. So that's kind of what I like to do as far as these, you know, little setup to get past the block running back scream, and then also max protect scream, and then also even just a little all-out coverage D, similar to $1. So you can get pretty glitchy with this. You also can send, I mean, obviously you can send those blitzes if they don't block anybody at all. But I was trying to just focus on extra blocking in this video. What's up, guys? In this video, I wanted to break down a setup that works. Very easy blitz setup that works from any play when the offense is not blocking the running back or anyone else. And even sometimes when they do block the running back, it kind of just depends upon what else they do. And then also I'm going to show you why exactly we want auto flip on as far as the run defense is concerned. So this first setup that could work from any play, regardless of the play, it's a global setup that's really for if they're not blocking anyone, or maybe they're blocking the running back. You know, again, it just depends what other adjustments they're doing. Again, it could be from any play, but like I said in the other video, Overstone Brave is just a super simple one to do it from, so that's probably the first one I would go with. And we're going to press, pinch our D-line and linebackers, crash the D-line down, contain, shade over the top so we don't get beat deep even though we're pressing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to manually control the inside linebacker on the same side of the field as the running back. And basically, at the snap, we're going to allow him to step forward, like almost like we're rushing, but we're really not. We're going to keep him on the blitz angle, and then we're going to drop back into coverage. And this should allow the defensive end opposite us to come free, and then we can, just as what happened there, and then we can just play coverage ourselves. Now, again, this could work from any play. We could audible to a zone, whatever we want to do. So say we wanted to blitz from like the cover 4 match, we could definitely do that. As you can see here, real fast blitz. I mean, this is a pretty damn fast blitz. You're not going to have much time to make any reads other than quick routes over the middle like drags, flats. But yeah, we could definitely audible to like a cover 4, cover 3, whatever. The same setup. Just press, pinch D-line, linebackers, crash the D-line down, blitz your linebackers, contain. And then again, we're just going to fake rush with this guy. And once the, he takes a step forward, we see the D-end coming free. We just drop back in coverage ourselves, just like that. You know, cover whatever we feel we need to cover. So this, like I said, it works for sure very well with no blocking. If they block someone extra, it can work. but it just depends upon what extra adjustments they do. You know, these people that's like, oh, like this little one-sided blitz works no matter what when they block the running back. Yeah, of course it's going to work when they just block the running back. But the thing is, there's other things you can do, like blocking the running back and slide protecting, or blocking the running back and IDing the mic, or blocking the tight end and slide protecting or IDing the mic. There's, other combinations. So I'm not going to tell you for sure this is always going to work if they only block one extra person, because it depends what else they do. But like, it can definitely work, and sometimes it will. But I don't want to say it's going to work every single time. Like I say with a lot of these blitzes that beat max protect, I can't really say that the same way about this blitz. So I just want to make sure I'm giving you all the correct information, because unlike other people, I don't like to mislead y'all. So like I'm saying, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That time it didn't. That's what I'm saying. So the blocked running back can stop it. Okay, so don't just think it's automatic. But if you're just noticing someone's coming out, not really making many adjustments, just trying to quick snap you, you can definitely just do it just like this, and you're gonna scream. Okay, so it's definitely a good blitz to run against a quick snapper who's not really doing much. But when you gotta face the advanced protection, that's what our other video is gonna go over. Now, I also did want to kind of show y'all why this is important as far as your run D, though. So, like, when you're playing guys that are running a lot of runs, especially inside zones, you definitely want the nickel back opposite the running back so he can help defend that. And it doesn't even have to be you blitzing. Like, it just the alignment period. Like, whether we're going to blitz or not. I definitely want that guy opposite the running back, because if he's on the, him being here, it's going to make it much harder to just get around that outside cleanly. If he's on the other side, you could easily do that. Now, if I'm thinking they're going to run a lot, yes, I could bring the safety up and control him. But I don't have to. Like, I could honestly just control this guy if I wanted to and just shoot gaps myself. But if you really, really, really want to lock in on the run, I mean, yeah, it definitely is. I feel like a little bit more better to just control the safety, because then you have another guy in the box that you can just shoot in, or you don't even have to shoot in. You can kind of just play the cutback or follow the flow of the O line. All right, but just know that when you get more aggressive and they run the ball, that leads to bigger potential for runs. But I mean, then it also leads for bigger potential for tackles in the backfield too. So I mean, I'm just not like. As long as I have auto flip on, I'm not tripping, because I know my nickelback's over there, so it's going to be hard for them to get around. The nickelback, it really is. And they can't really do any tricks with flipping formations, and a lot of times people will try to trick you. They'll flip their formation, or they'll just come out with the running back on the other side, so then they run a different, they run an inside zone the other way. They do all that type of stuff. So if you don't have auto flip on, it can be a pain in the ass, because then you have to always just flip the play and play such close attention. But when you do, it's gonna be set up fine. Now there are some interesting formations like this that where it doesn't, for whatever reason, it just doesn't have it opposite the running back. So if you see a formation like this, I just wanted to show you an example. You can flip it yourself and then just play it like this, because there are a few here and there that are like that, but mostly they're weird formations like that where they're spread with no tight end or anything like that. So the blocking is gonna kind of be some BS to begin with, so you don't even it's not quite as big deal if you're saying you're going up against a trips tight end or a trip set, where it definitely is a big deal then. So as you can see, got locked up pretty easily. The thing about these types of formations that don't have any good blocking, as far as tight ends on the line, trips, whatever, is the D end oftentimes on the same side of the running back against a look like this doesn't even get blocked, so you'll just blow it up without having to do anything. That's what I'm saying. It's not that big of a deal, because those formations that kind of don't put the guy opposite the running back are kind of terrible anyways as far as the blocking. So it's not that huge of a deal. But yeah, definitely for something like trips, that's really more so for anything what it's for, because not only do you want him over there for the run, but you want him over there in case they're trying to run the bubble screens too. So it kind of just, even though we're blitzing him, right, kind of persuades you, maybe, I don't know, because he's already over there, you know what I'm saying? You kind of think to yourself, well, I don't know, the guy's over there, should I do it? Who knows? But yeah, it's definitely kind of the way I look at it. As you can see, you can blow it up. That's what I like about it. It's really nice. Really, really, really nice run defense. Now, the only other thing I wanted to show y'all is just going back to some of the blitz setups. If you're going to blitz the nickel back, like blitz 7 type stuff, you might have to baseline and press against certain formations. Like bunch, obviously you don't have to, but spread and trips formation, you probably will, because, in a formation like this, all right, if you look, guy is really far out to the slot, so you probably are going to have to baseline and press to get him back in closer. You can slide him in, blitz him, bam. And then obviously when you baseline and press, watch your corners, do all that stuff. Just watch them, especially on the wide side, so you don't give up any free touchdowns. Just be aware, just be aware. But here again, you see, just what I showed you. I did want to show it where you did have to go up against the spread set. Even though these are not quite as common, I just wanted y'all to look at it, as we just had about 4 people nano. But yeah, those are just a few different things you need to be aware of when running this defense, because while the meta is definitely not formations like that, you never know who you're going to play, so you just always want to be prepared for everything that could come your way. So hope this video kind of helped y'all out as far as the run game, why we have auto flip on, how you might have to adjust to different types of formations, as far as whether you're baselining or not, and then also just giving you a simple blitz setup to use if someone's not really blocking or doing too much protection wise. What's up, guys? Duke here. So I want to do an online gameplay breakdown of my Madden 20 multiple defensive guide. Kind of just give y'all a little glimpse of how I like to use these defenses in different situations. I'm just hopping into a regs match. That way, I don't really know who I'm playing, what they're doing. I don't know anything. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm using the Cowboys. I feel like I really like them for regs. They have everything I'm looking for on defense, especially, their D-line. They have great pass rushers. Their secondary is pretty good. They got good linebackers, good user-type players in the secondary. So, yeah. Offensively, I'm running Oakland. That's a really good scheme to use with the Cowboys because they have a good running back and they're a more balanced team. If I was to use West Coast, I'd probably be using the Saints or the Patriots or something like that. So I'm going to let y'all watch the full game, even though this is for the defense. I'll just, I'm pretty much not going to be doing much commentating when it comes to the offense. But defense, y'all can just, I will be breaking down everything I'm trying to do, basically. So, I don't really know what this guy's doing right off the bat. So, anytime I don't really know, I like to just kind of come out in this defense right here until I get a better feel for what they want. Now, he just basically tried to bomb me, and because I shaded over the top, I'm just not going to get beat deep. So that was no worries, no worries at all for me, right there. Now when I run this $D, I do take auto flip off, and the reason for that is I don't really need auto flip for this defense. I just want it to stay exactly the way I want it, so we're going to turn that off. Now, again, this is the first drive, so I really don't know what he's doing, what to expect or anything like that. So, at this point, it's more so being careful than anything else. Here, I had 2 cloud flats, and the reason why I had 2 cloud flats is I told you I want to defend the middle of the field myself. So I'm putting that hook zone and the linebacker that's blitzing into an actual cloud. This is going to allow me to basically just stay over the middle of the field myself. Now here, he's obviously going into an empty set. I mean, to be honest, anytime I see this, I like to go ahead and just stick with this $D and just play over the middle of the field myself. So this time he actually did get the slants. I had to play those over the middle of the field. Like I said, when you're playing against this, or when you're running this scheme, you have to know that the middle of the field is your responsibility, because we do have the cloud flats on each side. So I kind of had to just bait between the slants before they were able to get basically to the sideline area to where the cloud flats could have some coverage on them. So got my stop, and I can kind of see that this guy is a passer. He's probably going to stay more shotgun. So now that I know that, like, he definitely seemed to have trouble with that defense. I might stick with that, or next drive I can go, depending upon what formations I see, I can start blitzing him more. So right now, when I'm with the Cowboys, I'm definitely run heavy. So you're just going to see me run the ball a lot unless he can stop it. And if he can stop it, then I'll go to something else. But like I said, mainly this was supposed to be for the defense more than anything. So I'm just going to chill right now. Y'all can watch the offense, and we'll get back to explaining what I'm doing on defense. But yeah, I'm gonna talk here and there when I'm playing offense, but I'm not really gonna be getting too much into it. Dude, I wasn't 4-4, but just good run blocking there. I was able to get outside. This looks like a heavy blitz, so I'm thinking stretch is gonna be a good run. Might be a touchdown. Oh, guy got off the block at the last second. Pretty lucky there. Yeah. Most people still have problems stopping the run, to be honest. Here we go. Zeke. So, like, if he's not going to stop this, I'm not doing anything anything different. This looks like it might be an all-out man blitz, I'm not going to lie. Let's see if I was right. Yep. Alright, back where we wanted to be on defense. So, this drive, I'm kind of remembering that he likes to pass a good bit. So I don't like a lot of times like people. I'm not sure if they're a passer or a runner. So it's kind of like I gotta chill at first. This guy looks like he's a passer, which makes it pretty easy for me to just start to send goons. So single back bunch though, that actually could be a run. That might be a pick. So he ran verticals right there. It's a good play, and like with this formation, you do want auto flip on, by the way. But I was able to get such fast pressure that at the end of the day, like he just wasn't gonna have time for all that. This is gun bunch right here. I don't know if he's gonna max protect or not, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and assume he might after that last play. So we'll see. Here you can see my adjustments. These are kind of like the same adjustments I broke down in the video. And you can see that was going to be about a 3rd and 30, but unfortunately I took my user just a hair off sides. So you can see this defense is definitely screaming at him. He does not like this at all. In fact, he saw enough and he's getting out of that. So you can see I'm set up right here. I'm going to shade inside too, even though I already shaded it to the outside. And that was a bad decision because he hit me with a corner route. Alright, so now I can kind of see like what's going on here. He blocked his whole team there. So I'm going to go cover 2 this time. And I'm actually just not even going to blitz him. See if he tries to hit me with that play again. But I'm going to act like I still might be blitzing. So See, he doesn't really have anything open. I'm going to go ahead and send my spy at him. And, you know, he actually really should have turned the ball over there. Got reckless. I really do like nickel normal, though, for people running a lot of shotgun. I feel like it's a pretty safe defense. Especially when you're not sure what exactly they want to do yet. Because, like, this guy, he's going through a lot of formations right now. So, like, that was a nice dot. So, I see he has a few man beaters out here. He's liking corner routes and those are like quick breaking outs. So what I'm thinking is this play, I'm gonna kind of like act like I'm blitzing. Set it up the same, give him the same look. But now I'm going to go ahead and just drop back into this cover 4 match. See what he does here. Looks like he threw a pick, possibly. Yep. So, because I saw he had a few different man beaters and he was just changing up formation so much, I just, for one play, I wanted to switch it up and just play cover 4 on him, see what happened. He didn't really, it seems like he probably was not expecting that. Just trying to throw it up and threw a pick. So, he's just selling out right now. Absolutely selling out. Still can't stop it though. I'm gonna go ahead throw a pass here because Zeke is dead. Never want to see that. And he had terrible pass defense. So. He's going to go ahead with another pass here. Alright, back on D again. So, honestly, from what I've seen, he does have a few man beaters when I'm blitzing, but he has no man beaters if I'm playing. I don't know what happened there with my kick. I might have missed, lagged. But he has no man beaters for the dollar scheme. Seems like the only way he can really beat man in general is just quick outbreaking routes if I don't have any clouds. So I just need to be aware of that. If I'm going to blitz him heavy, it might just be better to blitz from a cover 2 so you can't throw those types of routes, to be honest with you. So think I'm gonna just do that right here. Now he does, from what I remember, when he's in this formation, he does definitely seem to max protect a lot. So I do need to be aware of that. But he just did, but I got a little leg gap on him. So I'm saying, like, these defenses definitely be screaming, man. Definitely be screaming. Scream. So he's definitely lost right now. I'm gonna go 5-2 here. I have not showed it to him yet, hoping he's not ready for it. We shall see. Go fire zone 2. Oops, they did not let me get my play off. So here again, you can see what I'm basically, because I picked cover 2 because he's just in so many corner routes. I want to make sure that I don't give one of those up. And he went max protect there, which I did not expect. So that was actually a really good call by him. I did not expect a max protect out of that formation, and I did not. I just set up the blitz that was supposed to, work if he did not max protect. But since he did max protect, it kind of threw me off right there. So this time I will send a blitz that if he does max protect, I'm gonna be able to still get pressure on him. And you can see it. I did get the pressure. It's just that the guy that I was supposed to use her, I couldn't get clicked back on him in time, and I missed the sack. So kind of unfortunate break right there, but it is what it is. And of course, he didn't max protect that play after max protecting the last time. Gotta love it. So I'm going to play cover 2 on that side. I got to guard the tight end here, or the running back if he goes out. So keep that in mind. And she max protected again. So now I'm on the slot. And nothing. Nothing. He's had, 1 or 2 corner routes, and pretty much that's it. But again, if you see someone hitting you with the corner routes when you're blitzing for man, all you got to do is turn the side of the field. They're doing corner routes too into man coverage. So I guess he's had enough. Y'all could see, a pretty good example of the defenses. I might try to get another game up, but